Everything felt warm, easy, safe. He opened up. He stayed close. And then he changed. When a man gets close, something deeper wakes up inside him. Intimacy is not just romance. It is exposure. And exposure can feel dangerous. Sometimes he pulls away, not because he feels nothing, but because suddenly he feels too much. Sign number 1, intimacy triggered his fear of losing freedom. In the beginning, everything feels light. He texts first, he plans dates, he leans in. At that stage, there is no pressure, no weight, just excitement. It feels good to be wanted. It feels good to choose you. But then something shifts. The connection deepens. You start talking about real things, future plans, feelings. Time together becomes more regular, more expected, more real. And that is when some men feel it, the quiet fear, not fear of you, fear of losing themselves. For many men, independence is tied to identity. Freedom means control. Control means safety. When a relationship begins to feel serious, their mind translates it as responsibility, obligation, expectation. Even if you never demanded anything, he may start thinking, will I have to change? Will I lose my space? Will I disappoint her? These thoughts create pressure inside him. And when pressure rises, his instinct is not to talk about it. His instinct is to step back. Distance feels like relief. Space feels like control. So he pulls away, not because you trapped him, not because you asked for too much, but because intimacy began to feel permanent. And permanence can feel heavy to someone who is not fully ready. This is important to understand. He is not running from love. He is running from what love requires. Sign number 2, he felt truly seen, and that scared him. There is a moment in every deep connection when the surface disappears. The jokes slow down, the flirting softens, and real conversations begin. He tells you about his stress, his fears, his past. Maybe he even admits something he rarely says out loud. At first it feels beautiful. You feel closer than ever. You think, this is it. He trusts me. And you're right. But here is what many women don't see. When a man feels truly seen, not admired, not desired, but understood, it can shake him. Because being seen means he cannot hide behind confidence anymore. He cannot pretend he is unaffected. He cannot control the image. For many men, vulnerability feels like standing without armor. They were taught to be strong, to solve problems alone, to never depend too much. So when he opens his heart and realizes you now see the parts he protects, something inside him tightens. A quiet fear whispers, what if she sees too much? What if I'm not enough? What if she leaves after knowing the real me? The closer you get to his truth, the more exposed he feels. And if he does not know how to sit with that exposure, he will try to regain safety the only way he knows how, by creating distance. Pulling away becomes emotional protection. It is not that he regrets opening up. It is that staying open feels terrifying. Because once someone truly sees you, you can no longer hide from yourself. And not every man is ready for that level of honesty. Sign number 3, his past wounds were quietly activated. Sometimes what you are seeing has nothing to do with the present. It has everything to do with the past. A man can be strong, confident, even charming, and still carry old pain inside him. A breakup that broke his trust. A woman who left without warning. A marriage that ended in silence. He may tell you he's over it, and maybe he believes that, but the body remembers what the mind tries to forget. When your connection begins to feel deep, when it feels similar to something he once had, his nervous system can react before he even understands why. He may start feeling uneasy, restless, irritated for no clear reason, not because of something you did, but because closeness feels familiar. and familiarity reminds him of loss. His brain is wired for protection. If love once led to pain, his system will try to prevent that pain from happening again. So he creates space. Distance feels safer than attachment. Control feels safer than vulnerability. And here's the part that hurts the most. He may genuinely like you. He may see your value. He may even imagine a future. But if he has not healed the old wound, your closeness becomes a trigger instead of comfort. This is not about logic. It is about emotional memory. When the past is unresolved, the present feels dangerous. So he pulls away, not because you are wrong for him, but because loving again means risking the same pain twice. And not every man has done the inner work to face that risk. Sign number 4. He realized you matter more than he expected. In the beginning, he may have told himself it was simple, just fun, just connection, just something light. He felt in control. He believed he could manage his emotions. But then something changed. He started thinking about you when you weren't around. Your opinion began to matter. Your mood affected his mood. And suddenly, this was no longer casual. You became important, and importance creates risk. Because the more someone matters, the more they can hurt you. At first, he may not even notice the shift. He just feels slightly unsettled, slightly more attached than he planned to be, slightly more invested than he is comfortable admitting. Then one quiet thought appears. What if this doesn't work? That thought alone can create fear. If he loses something casual, it stings. If he loses someone important, it wounds. So instead of leaning deeper into attachment, he may step back. Not because he feels less, but because he feels more than he expected. Pulling away becomes a way to lower the emotional stakes. If he creates distance now, maybe it won't hurt as much later. If he slows it down, maybe he can regain control. This is the paradox many women misunderstand. When a man realizes you matter deeply, it can awaken both love and fear at the same time. And if he has never learned how to handle strong emotions, fear often wins first. He withdraws not because your value decreased, but because your value increased. And that level of importance feels overwhelming to someone who did not plan to fall this hard. Sign number 5, he is emotionally immature. This one is not dramatic, it is quiet and very common. Some men simply never learned how to handle deep emotions. They learned how to work, how to compete, how to stay busy, but they never learned how to stay present when feelings become intense. Emotional maturity means being able to say, I'm overwhelmed, I'm scared, I need reassurance. But if a man does not have that skill, he will not speak his fear, he will act it out. When intimacy grows, emotions become stronger, expectations feel real, conflict may appear. And instead of communicating, he shuts down. He becomes distant, short with words, less expressive, not because he stopped caring, but because he does not know how to manage what he feels. Emotional immaturity often looks like coldness, but inside it is confusion. He may think, why do I feel pressured? Why am I irritated? Why do I suddenly need space? He does not pause to reflect. He reacts. Pulling away becomes easier than sitting in discomfort. Silence becomes easier than vulnerability. And here is the hard truth. Love requires emotional strength. It requires staying when things feel heavy. It requires talking when you want to hide. It requires tolerating closeness without running from it. If he has not developed that strength, he will retreat the moment things feel serious. Not because you are too much, but because the emotional depth of the relationship is more than he knows how to handle. And until someone chooses to grow emotionally, they will keep repeating this pattern, getting close, feeling overwhelmed, and pulling away. Sign number 6, he was chasing the feeling, not building the connection. Not every man pulls away because he is afraid. Some pull away because the thrill is over. In the beginning, there is excitement, the first texts, the late-night talks, the mystery. Chasing creates adrenaline. It boosts his ego. It makes him feel chosen and powerful at the same time. But chasing and connecting are not the same thing. Chasing is about pursuit. Connection is about depth. When the relationship moves from fantasy to reality, from winning you to actually knowing you, the energy changes. There are no more questions like, does she like me? Can I impress her? Now the question becomes, can I build something real? And if he was driven more by validation than by genuine emotional interest, that shift feels boring instead of meaningful. He may not even realize this about himself. He just feels less stimulated, less excited, less driven, so he creates distance. Not because you did something wrong, but because the mystery faded. For some men, the chase feeds their ego, but stability does not. They enjoy the climb. They lose interest once they reach the top. This is not about trauma. It is not about fear of intimacy. It is about emotional shallowness. And here is the important distinction. A man who wants depth becomes calmer as closeness grows. A man who wants excitement becomes restless. If he pulls away when things become steady and secure, it may simply mean he was attached to the feeling of pursuit, not to the future of the relationship. And that truth, while painful, protects you from blaming yourself for someone else's lack of depth. The twist, it's not just about why he pulled away. Here is the part no one talks about. When he pulls away, your mind immediately turns inward. What did I do wrong? Was I too available? Did I say too much? Was I not enough? But the real twist is this. Most of the time, his withdrawal began long before you noticed it. It began the moment intimacy started pressing on something inside him. His fear, his ego, his wounds, or his immaturity. His distance is often about his capacity, not your value. And here is something even deeper. When someone pulls away, it does not just reveal their readiness, it reveals yours. Do you chase? Do you shrink? Do you try to earn back warmth? Or do you observe and say, this behavior tells me something? Because the truth is simple. A man who is ready for real connection may feel fear, but he communicates. He may feel vulnerable, but he stays. If he disappears instead of growing, the problem was never your closeness. It was his limit. And sometimes the pullback is not a rejection. It is redirection. Not every withdrawal means you did something wrong. Not every distance means he stopped caring. Sometimes he simply isn't ready for real intimacy, and that's about him, not you. Stay present in your own worth. The right man stays even when closeness feels intense, and that is the love you deserve.